Well, while forbidden to eat in both Judaism and Islam, pigs are still grown for pork under special circumstances. More in this next report.
Its consumption is strictly forbidden. In Judaism, it provokes the indignation of the most religious who consider its meat impure. It has an especially bad reputation that it could be carrying many diseases. And yet, in Israel, more than 200,000 pigs are slaughtered every year.
They are slaughtered from the age of 6 months, which means that at any given time, nearly 100,000 pigs are being raised in Israel. 6 months. That's the age at which pigs are no longer profitable for the industry. That's when they reach their optimal weight.
An industry with questionable methods denounced by animal rights organizations. Like Let the Animals Live, which regularly enters farms by court order to document the conditions of breeding.
In practice, one can see that pigs are kept in terrible conditions with high density and high temperatures. Pigs are very sensitive to heat, and with the Israeli climate, cooling methods should be used, but they are not. They live locked up in sort of boxes where they are almost left to themselves. And, in fact, they go crazy. The pig is a very intelligent animal, comparable to the intelligence of a 3-year-old child. They are more intelligent than dogs. They are very curious, and when they have nothing to do, they start to develop pathologies.
Since 1962, the breeding, keeping, and slaughter of pigs in Israel is prohibited by law, with the exception of certain places.
This law does not prevent the breeding of pigs, as one might think, but only limits the places where breeding is allowed for the pig meat industry. There is a list of places where it is possible to raise pigs, mainly those with a Christian majority population.
For many in the Holy Land, it's heresy. In the 80s, some people tried to push for a change in the law so that the ban on the production and sale of pork would become absolute, but without success. If the pork industry was almost clandestine until the 1990s, the pig has since spread in Israel, especially with an influx of immigrants from the former Soviet Union and a more progressive Supreme Court.
It is true that most pigs are not raised directly on the ground, but rather on concrete or plastic slabs, because it is more comfortable for the industry. This prevents the pigs from digging into the ground. When the pigs are out in the wild, they will spend their time in a hole they have dug.
A few months ago, archaeologists from the Israel Antiquities Authority made a surprising discovery in Jerusalem. It was the skeleton of a 2,700-year-old pig in a building in the city of David, located only a few dozen meters from the Temple Mount. According to the archaeologists, if eating pork was not very common then, some people were already eating it at the time, despite the prohibition of their religion.